There have been a couple of big product launches at the Giro, and there's plenty more going on as well. Let's go and take a look at the best tech at this year's race. There are two things that you can't get through the Giro D'Italia without. Number one is a good rain cape, and number two is a set of easy gears. The pros are now using cassettes of up to 32 teeth. This is a great product trickle down for the regular rider, and it's a set of gears that they wouldn't have considered using even a couple of years ago. Let's go and take a look at one of the big new products at the race. The new specialised Tarmac was launched at the start of this year's race. It loses the SL suffix and becomes simply the Tarmac. It's being used by all the specialised teams at this year's race, and this is the bike of Fabio Aru. There's also a red specialised saddle on Aru's bike. The rest of them are black, so maybe this is a new product or a prototype that they're working on. The other big product launch at this year's Giro was a new Campagnolo mechanical group set. Let's go and take a look at the bikes of the Bardiani CSF team. The most noticeable thing about the new Campagnolo group set is the chain set. It's now a 4-arm chain set, and you can run either compact or standard chainrings on it. It differs greatly from the more traditional 5-arm that Campi have stuck with for the last few years that you can see on that bike over there. If you want to know more about the other changes that they've made, check out our video on it, link in the description below. Next up, the Pinarello F8. Not being used at this year's race, but it was launched here, and Sky are going to be using it very soon. And here it is. Redesigned with help from Jaguar, and reportedly much more aerodynamic and a bit lighter. Will it be the fastest bike at this year's Tour? I think the shape of the forks, which is borrowed from the Bolide time trial bike, there, is my favourite thing on the bike. Next up, we've seen Nairo Quintana racing in full pink kit. We've not seen him on a pink bike yet. It's okay though, because Europcar have solved that by having a pink Colnago floating around their team area. This year's Giro also included a predominantly uphill time trial, so the riders had to make a compromise. Aero bike or road bike. You can see at AG Does Air, they've gone for a mixture between the two. They've gone for extensions. I think some of the guys, no, they don't have shifts on. They've gone for extensions on their standard road bikes. That means they can get aero on the flat initial part of the course before taking advantage of the light weight of a climbing bike for the steep climb that follows. Let's go and look for some more stuff. We're over at the Lampre team area. Many aero bikes now have concealed rear brakes. So to get around this when they need a quick wheel change, the Lampre guys have got a brake release for the rear brake right by the handlebars, which means that either the rider can release the brake or the mechanic can. Fundamentally, that's a very basic bit of tech, but it's definitely worth a thought if you have an aero bike with a concealed brake. Over the last few years, professional cycling teams have tended to use SRM power meters. However, this year, that's starting to change. Movistar and Lampre are both using these Power 2 Max power meters.
Walking around the team's area before stage 20, we noticed these Ultegra rear mechs on Team Sky's bikes. Dura Ace rear mechs don't have a cage big enough to accommodate the gearing that the riders needed for the exceedingly steep gradient of the Monte Zoncolan. Staying with rear mechs, we spotted these burner rear mech cages on both of rider Hesjedal's bikes. They reportedly save a fair few watts, so it begs the question, why is Hesjedal the only rider in the pro peloton with these on his road bike?
Could you tell us a bit more about the burner rear mech cage that you've got fitted?
Yeah, it's just a nice product. The oversized pulleys, anything helps. So, figured why not.